This is a serious deviation from nearly every other recipe that I have on YouTube. This is not restaurant cuisine. This is home cooking from Sardinia. After having received numerous emails from Italians complaining that I only ever show restaurant food and not home cooking, I decided that I would finally make an exception and show this old world recipe. And this is something important to consider before making it. It is old world. What does that mean? New world is spicy, strong, and intense. Old world is subtle. And even in the case of a rustic dish like this one, the flavors are mild.
And we'll begin by assembling our principal ingredients. I've got 300 grams of chicken livers that I've already cleaned. I've gotten rid of the tough membranes in between the livers. I've got breadcrumbs, I've got the parsley, sun-dried tomatoes, 3 hard-boiled eggs, 1 raw egg. Now we're going to begin making the filling. Into the food processor goes the chicken livers, breadcrumbs, the egg, saffron, sun-dried tomatoes, parsley, about half a teaspoon, it's really a lot, of ground black pepper. And we're going to grind this together. And dealing with the chicken, we have a couple of things we have to do here. You get a long piece of string, you're going to loop it behind the wings like this, and we're going to seal off this head hole, the hole where the neck was first. I'm going to just pull it tight. And you get a couple of loops around here. Yes, I know that if you stick your finger down in there tight, you can still find there's a hole, but we've sealed up most of it. Now we'll get rid of the extra here. We can also get rid of these wing tips. They're not really going to add anything. And now we can begin putting the filling inside the chicken. I put egg yolk in. The first one will help plug that hole in the bottom. Then we're going to put a little bit of this chicken liver mixture, a couple more egg yolks, hard-boiled eggs I should say, a little bit more of this filling, more hard-boiled eggs. Now when you got it to the top, what you're going to do is you're going to poke a couple of holes here with a sharp knife, so that we've got places to thread some string through. Okay. And it takes a little playing around with, but you get all of the holes punched and run the string around, cinch it up. Now you've got the hole essentially plugged. Now we're going to truss the chicken just like it was a regular. Just in behind here, go around the legs, pull them together. We're going to pull all this whole thing together tight. Okay, we have 8 liters of water here that are rapidly boiling. Now I'm going to turn the heat down to about 5. I'm adding 10 juniper berries, a handful of bay leaves, dried, and 32 grams of salt. That's 4 grams of salt per every liter of water. And now lower the chicken. Now the parts that are exposed will cook quickly and they will seal up. Now this is after 30 minutes. You can see it's a very slow simmer. You can also see there's a little bit of this filling is kind of leaked out and solidified next to the chicken. Don't let that bother you. It's just like a tablespoonful. It won't have any effect in the long run. Just let it keep cooking along. It's a very, very slow simmer. It's been about 2.5 hours now, and what I'm doing now is I'm preparing the herbs on here. I've got lemongrass, rosemary, thyme, a little mint, some dill, parsley, just going to break these up a little bit. Release the volatile oils in them a little bit first. I'll put the chicken down in the middle of this. Cover this up with some herbs. I'm also going to add a little bit more salt. It's been cooked in salted water. We're going to add more salt to this. And then wrap it up here tight and leave this in a bowl at room temperature, as you'll see in a second here. Just fold it over and leave it to cool like this. It's in a bowl all wrapped up with those herbs, and we're going to leave it to sit like this for another 2 to 3 hours. Finally, when the resting time is up, take this out. Peel all these herbs off with the chicken, of course. And of course, after just a minute. Now we have these spent herbs. You can just toss these, or if you're making some kind of stock, you want a lot of herb flavor in the stock, you can reuse them. You can dry them out even, and save them for a while if you want to. Herbs are not especially expensive, so I'll just consider it as part of the cost of the dish here. Now we're going to get the string off of it here. And now you have the task of cutting this chicken, getting the meat off of it, getting it down to where you can get to the stuffing that's inside of it. And you know, exactly how you do this is up to you. But you just want to cut it into pieces, manageable pieces, and get to that stuffing that's in the middle here. Lay it out. Separated all the meat off with the chicken. We're going to add some more sea salt to this. A lot of salt is always good on this. And then we've got stuffing, which is kind of crumbly, and we can try to make slices out of it, but it's gonna break up. You just have to accept that.
Also look for my cocktail book, Cocktails of the South Pacific and Beyond, Advanced Mixology, available through Amazon online.